everybody, it's Alyce-Kay Ruckelshaus from Threshold of Hineni, and I'm going to work on some Frankenpaper while I just kind of chat about what's going on in my life right now. I'm doing two things here. Mainly this is a craft table talk where I'm just going to kind of catch y'all up on what's going on in my life. But I'm going to do this while I'm working on Frankenpaper because I often get questions about Frankenpaper, and I do have quite a few videos about it, but it keeps, moving down to the bottom. So I just figure let's keep it fresh. So Frankenpaper is, let me show you one that's finished. You can make this all kinds of ways. I think most people glue it. I prefer to sew it. It gives it more texture, and I just like sewing, But I do have some that I've made here where I just glued on these things because I want them to be cards that you can write on, and if they had stitching all over the back, it'd be hard to write on. So I have a whole bunch of scraps, and so I really need to do some Frankenpaper to get those used up. And I just do it on scratch paper. This is, I ran too many pages, or I did a double of a run on some stuff for a drawing. So anyway, I try to kind of keep my scraps somewhat sorted by color categories. Like this is kind of like pinks and earth tones. And what else do I have here? Oops. I don't want to lose that. Something just went into the trash from my pile of stuff. And then I have, I have stuff that's black and white that I save. These weren't in a container, but they should be together. I have, these are from another junk journal that I was making. So, just trying to, and these could actually probably go with that, with the stuff that I'm using right now. So, you just try to keep like similar things together. When I'm working on a junk journal or a set of junk journals that are all in similar colors, I'll just like put them all into one basket. And so I've got like loads and loads of scraps now, and I just really need to use them up. So what I do is I start out first by, I just want to kind of cover the paper with pieces that are of fairly neutral colors, because then I'll cover with, oops, I want to do this on zigzag, because then I'll cover it with smaller pieces. But these are just kind of like for background, so that it's not just white in the background if something doesn't get completely covered. I also might use, like I've got a picture of Bill and me here. I'm sure nobody's going to be super interested in that, so I'm going to use it as background also. And it'll get like partially covered, but not completely. When I'm doing this stage of it, I just sew one side, because then I might want to tuck other things under it. I can decide that way whether I'm going to tuck things under or put them over. And I don't sew around the edge, because I'll sew that at the very, very end. Okay? So anyway, just okay, so what's going on in my life right now? There's not a lot going on in my life, but thought-wise and emotion-wise and stuff like that. Since Bill died, I've been alone. I've been living alone. And with the whole COVID thing, oh my gosh, that means I'm like really, really alone. And I've always thought of myself as really introverted, which I am, and pretty much a loner. And so, when Bill was alive, the last 2 or 3 years, I pretty much just stayed home, and he was like my only company. Sometimes he would go, "When was the last time you went someplace?" And I'd go, I don't know, like 3 months ago. And it's like, I hadn't even stepped outside the door for 3 months. It's kind of how I was. But I was just really satisfied with him being my only companion. And that was okay. And, okay, so this piece has a white edge. So I'm definitely going to want to sew over. I'm definitely going to want to put something over it. So anyway, so after 6 months of, being kind of quarantined, and, my life before that this isn't much of a change from my life before, because I work from home. All my income is from stuff that I do at home. So I don't like go to a job or anything. You know, I go to church. Right now I'm taking a class on Wednesday nights, and so I go to that. But, you know, otherwise it's like I'm just home all the time. I order my groceries online and go pick them up. So I don't even get out of my car. Or I might get out of my car just to visit, but not, you know, I don't have to get out of my car. And so, you know, it's like, what's even worse though is that I am a touch person, and I have been touched like less than a dozen times in the last 6 months, which is just really, really hard. So I kind of accidentally stumbled upon something that is really, really helping me, because that was getting me really depressed. Now, it hasn't helped me with touch, but it has helped me with having some interaction with people, you know, with human beings, is that I interviewed another author about a book that she had just published, and I, you know, interviewed it basically to help her out and because I really believed in what she's doing and everything. But I found that I enjoyed it so much, and I was kind of good at it, that I decided to just start interviewing people. And so what I'm doing is I'm interviewing people about their passions, and you know, and then I post them on YouTube, which is really fun, and you know, it gets a few views, not a ton, but it's just fun. But mainly it like gets me that social time with a real life human being, and so that's been really good. So I kind of wanted to mention that because, you know, wherever it is that you're living, you know, just keep in mind people who are living by themselves, because it's probably really hard for them during this time. And if there's any way at all that you can give them some kind of social interaction, it would probably be really appreciated. If there's any way that you can touch them, you know, if you're somebody who lives, you know, like, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, if there's a lot of restrictions on touching right now, so it may not be possible. But if there's any way that you can, it would probably be really appreciated. Gosh, just having somebody put their hand on my back would be, you know, while we're standing talking. But of course you can't get that close or anything. So anyway, that's just something to throw out there. So what else have I been doing? Not a lot, you guys. I'm just, okay, so here's something. This is like almost embarrassing, but I'm going to say it anyway because there are probably other people who are in the same situation, and this might help you feel a little bit better. So since I've been alone and I'm really, really busy just trying to earn a living, and then I try, you know, like every evening at 6:30, my alarm on my phone goes off and it tells me to have alone time with my sewing machine, because that's what Billy used to tell me, was you need to have some alone time with your sewing machine. And that just really, you know, like helps me to relax for the evening and stuff. But other than that, it's like I'm just like work, because I need to earn a living. It's just me. And so I haven't been cleaning my house. Yeah, that's like really embarrassing. I do dishes when I absolutely have to, but I just haven't had the time to clean my house. And so it's just gotten so bad that I've decided, you know, I'm going to keep working VIP Kid, my teaching job, early in the mornings in October. But other than that, I mean, like for a break, I might create a YouTube video or something, but for the most part, I'm not going to do any other work. I'm just going to clean my house and organize myself. I mean, it's not going to take me a month to clean my house. It's not that bad. But there's other things that I need to do to organize myself. Like I'm finding that I'm just scattered, and I need a schedule. I need like, okay, this is the day for recording YouTube videos. This is the day for processing them. This is the day for writing. I do want to write every day, you know, at least my 1,000 words that I'm used to doing each day. I want to keep doing that so that I keep moving forward on my books. But that's the other thing, is that I know that the main thing God wants me to do with my life, I don't mean like right now, but with my life, is writing the Isaiah Cadre books. So I want to keep moving forward on them. But the thing is that ever since Bill died, I've kind of lost my passion for that. And so you can pray for me about that, please. And so I just don't feel like my heart's in it. So I want to take kind of a break from it. I want to write, 1,000 words each day, but I'm not going to like really, really push to get a book out in 3 months, which is what ideally I'd like to be putting out a book every 3 months. So I'm going to focus more like on YouTube and stuff until I can just get my passion back for my writing. Because it makes me really sad that I don't feel passionate about writing right now. So yeah, if you guys could pray about that, I would really appreciate it. So I do have a book coming out late October, early November. Just kind of, I'm at the stage where I'm just about ready to send it out to experts. I sent it out to beta readers, got it back from them. I have a few small changes that I need to make. A couple changes that are, a little bit bigger. They're not just like changing a few words here and there. They're something I need to kind of rewrite a little bit. But they're not super difficult. And then I'll send it to my expert readers who are, like experts in the subjects that are in this book. I don't want to tell you too much. And then it'll go to another round of beta readers, which will be fairly quick, hopefully. And hopefully they'll just all say, oh yeah, this is great, it's ready to go out. And then it'll come out. So yeah, so it'll be like late October, early November, and probably closer to early November, because I don't really want to compete with the election, and I don't want to distract from it either. I doubt that I would be much of a distraction. So yeah, so that's what's happening on the book thing. So in this book, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I'm just going to tell you like the topic and stuff. You will find out what happened at the end of book 4. There's kind of a cliffhanger, and I'm not going to tell you what that is, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So you will find out what happened with that. But this is set in 2019. And so I'm just jumping ahead for a little while, and then I'm going to go back to the 1980s and work from there, which was my original intention. But this book, I had been put in touch by one of my readers with a pro-life doctor, and when we talked, he asked if I would consider writing a book in my series that would have to do with abortion reversals. And at first I thought no, because I'm writing in the 1980s, and obviously this wasn't happening in the 1980s. Abortion reversals are a thing, that's happening right now. And so, I didn't see any way that I could do it. But I said I would pray about it. And to be honest, I was going to pray about it. I didn't lie about that. But to be honest, the only reason I was praying about it is because that's like the holy thing to do instead of just saying no. Well, I went and I took a nap, and when I woke up, oh my gosh, it was so cool, you guys. It was like I had the basic plot for this book already in mind, and which wasn't me. I don't come up. Plotting is the hardest thing for me. That is the hardest thing. So it was like to have this basic plot already lined up. I knew that wasn't me. And then the other thing was that God had shown me while I was sleeping how he had put in the other 4 books different, what do you call them? Foreshadowings. Okay, so like when you read the book, if you're going, oh my word, she's been planning this since the first book. I just want you to know, no, I wasn't, but apparently God was. Because like the way that the 4th book ends, and again, I'm not going to give any spoilers here, but the way that the 4th book ends was not my plan. Okay, there's a person who shows up at the end, and if you've read it, you know who it is. There's a person who shows up at the end that I wasn't planning to be there. And he comes along, and I'm typing this, and he starts doing stuff, and a police officer says something to him, and his reply is the end of the book. And I was like, what the heck? What am I going to do with this? It's like this one character has just been trouble for me all the way through. And I didn't know until this doctor asked me to write this book. And God showed me that that was leading into the book that he wanted me to write about abortion reversal. It was amazing. Just really, really amazing. So anyway, so if you think that any parts of it are brilliant because of how it fits with the other books, just like, yeah, it's not me. That part's not me. So anyway, it's really cool. I love this book. I really, really love it. And at some point I will follow through on what happens to the characters in this one, but first I need to go back and do the stuff that needs to be done with the other characters. So anyway, I hope that makes sense to you. If you've read my books, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. So the other thing, I don't think that I had mentioned this, was, no, actually I don't want to say this because that would be a spoiler. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. Okay, so, but anyway, yeah, this book is really, really different for me. So I hope that you all enjoy it. I really do. It's going to be called He Who Formed You. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be called. I'm not entirely happy with that title, but my titles are always from the book of Isaiah, because it's the Isaiah cadre. And so I had a really hard time finding an appropriate title in the book of Isaiah. So if anybody has any ideas, of course you don't know what the book's about. Well, it's about abortion reversal. So if you have any ideas, feel free to tell me, because maybe I'll use your title. And I would definitely say something in the end notes about you that you had suggested that title. It can be from any version of the Bible, just needs to be from Isaiah. So anyway, I think that's it. So basically on the Frankenpaper here, I've just about covered all of this bottom part, and then what I'll do is I'll take the smaller pieces that I have and I'll just like kind of stick them all over the place and do this same zigzagging, and then I'll make sure that all the edges are down. And that's basically what I do. And I'll link another Frankenpaper video that shows you like making the whole entire thing so that you can see that entire process, and I talk you through more of why I choose certain things for different places, how I place them, and stuff like that. So this was really more of like a craft table talk that I happened to be doing Frankenpaper at the same time. So anyway, I love you all. I would really, really appreciate your prayers. Please, please, please. I'm still like really dealing with a lot of depression, and it's like I'm able to be, I'm not faking it right now. When I get on YouTube, I'm happy. And so that's why I do a lot of YouTube. And when I talk to people on Zoom, I'm happy. But when I'm just like by myself, I'm not always like super depressed, but I am probably 75% of the time, and I cry a lot still. And it's been more than a year. And so I would just really appreciate your prayers. I know that I'm never going to stop missing him. I know that there's always going to be this part of me that's sad, but I don't want to be depressed. And I want to get my passion for writing back, and I want to be able to live. It's like that's what I've been saying yes to God about, and I'm just having such a hard time. So anyway, I love you all. I really would appreciate your prayers. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.